Shalom. First and foremost, only give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Mokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who ruled well and taught me this truth. Peace, blessings, salutations, and mercies to the elect, and the 1/3 remnant out there listening and doing this word with all faith and sincerity, scattered amongst the nations and the four corners of the earth. To you I say Shalom, Lord willing. This video is edifying. It's going to be centered around it's like street teaching. It's edifying. It's going to be, various topics, open forum. And I want to start off by breaking down the name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. Okay, the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God or Jehovah. All right, His name is Yahweh. Yah meaning He, Howeh meaning exists or is to be. And His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, His name is Yahawashi. Yah meaning He, Yahawashi meaning delivers. So He delivers. He is salvation, and that's what He's coming to do for the nation of Israel. He's coming to rescue us and redeem us from the second death. Okay, which through the Spirit they come and go into. All right, more so the system that is getting ready to fully introduce itself onto the main stream. Okay, Elon Musk made a statement saying that he wanted to make more mainstream the Neuralink chip, right, which is a brain-computer interface, right? Pretty much it's a programming device for your brain, right? And right now they're only using it for, the disabled for the most part. People who can't use their motor skills. All right, they get this implant and they're able to control digital devices, right? Like maybe a cell phone or a computer, laptop, a video game, anything that also shares that same radio frequency identification, right? Because that's how it works. It works through signals, right? And invisible waves that you can't see, radio waves, all right? And those frequencies give you the ability to use these devices, okay? And it also gives you the ability to have the internet in your mind, to have the internet to be accessible at any thought, right? And that's what, everything is gearing up into becoming. You're going to see more and more of these different devices being pushed. All right, celebrities are going to get them. All right, influencers, athletes, all the idols of this world are going to all push this technology together because they are simply agents of Satan, okay? And Satan is Esau Edom, who goes by the alias the white man today, right? Or he calls himself the European or the Caucasian, but really he's an Edomite, all right? And he is the devil that the Bible speaks of. So So I'm using ChatGPT. And I pretty much just asked ChatGPT what would the ramifications of the digital ID be, right? Where is it going? And what are its abilities, all right? And the digital ID refers to a government or institution-based or issued digital identity used to verify who you are online instead of physical ID. Right? That's very, very, very key, because everything that we use and interact with now is online. Right? Social media is a major part of your day-to-day life. Whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Snapchat, TikTok, X, or Twitter, you know, and you use the emails, the email system. That's all internet. That all takes a device that is capable of logging online to use. Okay? So this digital ID is not only going to replace your ID, your identification, your physical ID, your driver's license, your passport, but it's going to replace your username, your hashtag, or whatever the fuck you use. Okay? That's gonna take the place of it. All right? Because your ID, your digital footprint will permanently be linked back to you. So every time you log onto a social media platform and you have a digital ID, you're gonna log it in, right? They're gonna have without a shadow of a doubt that it was you who did it, because you're gonna need biometrics to access it. It can include things like biometric data, fingerprints, facial recognition, right? And I was playing with the digital ID on my phone, and the first thing it asked me for was my facial recognition. Why would it do that? Okay? Because whenever you use these apps, it's gonna scan you in, and it's gonna identify whether it's you or not. And if it's not you, you won't have access to these accounts. All right? And if it is, then you're subject to whatever, you're responsible for whatever is posted or uploaded to the internet via whatever accounts that you have. Okay? Personal records, financial access, medical info, and travel credentials. These are all vital things that we need and use day to day, right? Potential benefits: faster access to services, banking, healthcare, travel, employment, right? Because these things are all gonna be linked to your digital ID, your bank account information, okay? Whether that's PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Navy Federal, Chase, Wells Fargo, it's all gonna be linked back to your digital ID. Okay, your health care, all right? So your medical records, okay? Your vaccine status, all right? Anything revolving health, travel, and employment. So when you're flying, that's why they got this thing now that's gonna go into fruition. You won't be able to travel unless you have a real ID without paying a fee. Now it starts off with you have to pay a fee, And eventually it's going to get to the point where you're not able to travel if you don't have this real ID. Okay? And I think the real ID has some type of digital footprint associated with it too, if I'm not mistaken. All right? But there's a reason that they want you to get that ID, that they're forcing that upon you. All right? They're not going to make you get it, like put a gun in your head, right? Kidnap you, put you in a van, and have you go get it. No. They're going to put different stipulations, different penalties and taxes to where if you don't get it, you're going to be in a heap of hell, right? You're going to be in a whole lot of trouble financially. That's how they're going to get you, okay? Reduce fraud and identity theft in theory. Easier verification across borders and institutions. Centralized access instead of carrying multiple documents. Major concerns and risks. Surveillance. Right? Centralized identity or centralized digital identity could allow governments or corporations to track behavior, movement, and transactions. All right? So they're going to be able to track your transaction history. They're going to be able to track the places you've been. They're going to be able to track the things you posting. All right? And they already have this ability now, but now there's a sense of autonomy, right? You can kind of be autonomous with it. You can create a fake account or a burner account, right? Well, that's coming to an end with the digital ID. You won't have that ability because you're going to need biometrics to even start the account, right? You're going to need these things to even log on and access anything. Everything you post is you're going to be verified before you even post it. So if you go online, you're talking shit, or if you have an opinion, you're talking shit about Trump, you don't like ICE, right? And you think that you can hide behind the screen, because that's what a lot of people do. They want to hide behind these screens. Well, that digital ID is going to eliminate the ability for you to do that. You're not going to be able to hide behind the screen no more, man. Okay? And they're going to be able to know. They're going to know everything about you, because they're not only are they going to have access to your social media, they're monitoring your messages. They're monitoring your phone calls. Okay? And they've been doing this for years now. Right? But now it's becoming more and more and more tyrannical. Okay? He's restricting more and more and more. Right? Loss of autonomy, access to money, travel, or services could be restricted or revoked. And they're already debanking certain individuals if they speak up about certain things, or if they have a difference in opinion, or if they talk about those small hats over there in the land of Palestine, right? They're debanking, deplatforming you for that. We seen what happened with Kanye a couple of years ago. All his assets, all his money, instantly poof, and it's gone, right? Vaporized, like it never existed, all right? They're gonna have that ability, and they're gonna do that to all of you people, to everybody, me, myself included, all right? Because this is the next phase. You don't have any more freedoms. Freedom of speech is gone, okay? They took that away. All these amendments that you people, you claim to have, you think you have, you don't have any freedoms, all right? If anything, the events that's been transpiring should show you that. But, you know, these everyday Americans, these simpletons are stupid, all right? They don't really, they don't really consider or understand. Okay, and all these things are found in the scripture. Okay? Security risk. If hacked, everything tied to your identity is exposed at once. All right, even though they're going to use it as this is a more secure way to live, this is the most convenient way to operate, it's all going to be a lie. Because just like your phone can be hacked, okay, just like a computer can be hacked, okay, how many internet outages do we see? How much more when they implement this microchip? And it starts with the digital ID. The digital ID is pretty much, you know, you only got one more step after that, man. Okay? It's it. That's it. Okay? And the true digital ID is the RFID microchip. All right? What they're unveiling now is like a pilot program. All right? To see how it would function. Almost like a beta test, right? Before you actually implement it. That's that last test. All right? Everybody's gonna be using their digital ID for everything. And what's gonna come with that? A social credit system. Right? So it's not just gonna be credit as we know it today, but it's gonna be based off of your social patterns. Okay? Does the state consider you socially credible? Right? Okay? And they're gonna make you feel that hive, that group think is gonna be escalated and elevated to where everybody's gonna wanna think and do the same things. Okay? Because it's gonna be a penalty if you don't. Right? Let's see. So your every interaction becomes logged, timestamped, analyzed, and cross-referenced. Okay? Going into the surveillance aspect of it. Right? Not just what you do, but where you go, what you buy, who you interact with, what you support, what you refuse. Okay? So when they put this device in you, they're going to have absolute control over you. Absolute control, 100%. And this is why we're out here warning you for these things, right? This is Habakkuk 2:2. And Yahweh Shema Shai answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. Right, and that's what we're doing. Okay? We're taking the events that we're seeing in a day-to-day life and we're correlating it with the scriptures and we're showing you how it lines up. And whether you believe or you don't believe, ultimately it doesn't matter because it's going to happen. It's prophecy. It's nothing that we can do to offset this. Right? If you go against it, you just fighting against the will of the Heavenly Father. And what? Pretty much you fight in vain. Right? But of course, a lot of people, they reject it. They don't want to believe it. Still talking about white women. All right? They want to dance around it. They want to touch on certain subjects, but they don't want to go fully into it because then they would have to admit that they were wrong and that the men of Great Millstone, starting off with the apostles and elders on down, were right. They don't want to do that because they have pride. They're proud, right? It's not about prophecy with them, right? It's not about the Lord. This is verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And it's here. First, this was all, a couple years ago, we were telling you these things were happening. And, it fell on deaf ears because you couldn't see it. Okay? And then when the whole jab campaign happened, the pandemic, people were a little more open-minded to it. But then once the final solution came about, people ran to it and wanted that new normal, right? They wanted to go back to normal. So they, in a sense, they kind of forgot it. But now that it's reintroducing itself, now you can't ignore it, because now the world as we see it, the world as we know it, is all crumbling. And it's all at the behest of these scriptures, these words, man. Okay? And those of you that chose not to warn, okay? You chose to sit on your leaves, right? There's going to be a punishment for that. Because if you don't know what's in this book, you shouldn't have picked it up to begin with. All right? Especially not to teach. All right? Scriptures say, go to one who has learned to learn. But that's not the spirit that, Jake is in. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You're not in that spirit. Jake want to be the one with it, with all the knowledge and he want to be that guy. Jake want to be famous, want to be renowned. When that's not what this thing is about. This is Ezekiel 33:7. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman into the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. And what's the Lord's mouthpiece? The prophets, right? The prophets with 100% truth, not 99, not 95, not most. These guys telling you that nobody knows the full entirety of the scriptures. We do. Say that without a shadow of a doubt. And the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is showing that. He's revealing that through the things that are happening in the earth that are lining up directly with what we said would happen. Okay? But niggas act like because you can't put a time on it, that is not true. When the scriptures say, no man knoweth the day or the hour. Okay, he cometh as a thief in the night. Okay, as a woman that's in labor. Nobody knows when that child is coming. Right? We just know she's pregnant. And it looks like it's about due. Right? We're measuring the time and the seasons with the things that are happening in the earth. All right? And we're warning you. When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die, if thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. So in order to get the blood off of us, in order for us to be okay, we have to warn you. And we can't withhold information from you. Okay? Because information was not withheld for us. We didn't have to pay for this. So we're not going to make you pay for it. Only thing you got to pay is attention. But that's too much for Jake, man. Pay respect. Pay reverence. But that's too much for Jake. All right? But we out here, we warning, man. We telling you. Nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his way and to turn from it, if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. We're trying to deliver our own selves, man. Okay? We're trying to work out our own salvation. And of course, you know, Yahweh Shah is going to deliver us, but we have to do the work in order to earn that, right? And we don't know if we did enough until we're on the chariots with a crown on our head, right? That's when we know that the job is finished, okay? So that's what we're warning. We've been warning you. And we're going to continue to warn you until we can't no more. And it's looking like that's about to happen, because once these digital IDs are, you know, more prevalent, because, you know, Apple has released theirs, but it's not nothing that's been made to really, they're not really pushing that right now, okay? So right now, it's still time. But the moment they start linking these digital IDs up with social medias and with bank accounts and with all this other stuff, hey man, we ain't gonna be out here too much longer, bro. You know? That you could pretty much spell famine of the word out right there. Okay? Because at that point, it'll be a penalty for speaking this truth. It's not gonna be allowed to speak this truth. They just arrested Don Lemon. And we know these are all staged events, right? These political activists and reporters getting arrested and charged with these different crimes. We know that's all staged, but they're gonna do this on a mass scale. They're gradually introducing you to the idea of people going to prison for the things that they believe in, okay? And they're not gonna stop. They're only gonna intensify it because it's a lot that has to happen. Okay, so going back to this digital ID. The illusion of choice. At first, optional pilot programs only for certain services, right? As I just said, which is what we're in. This is the first of it. This is the beginning of sorrows, right? As it says in Matthew 24. These are the beginning of sorrows. So what are you going to see? It's going to be a optional. It's going to be a pilot program, only for certain services, right? It's exclusive. But then pretty soon it's going to go from exclusive to inclusive, right? To where everybody's going to be made to partake in this. It's not just going to be for some nigga with Asperger's, okay? Some paraplegic, parallelogram, right? Can't move. It ain't just going to be for him. It's going to be for everybody, okay? It's going to be, and they talk about it. Mr. Beast, you know, just made a clip, you know, a video pretty much, came out of Mr. Beast speaking on it, saying, oh, it's gonna, whoever has this, if it costs a lot of money, you're gonna be able to make that money back because you're gonna have all the information to do it right in your head. Oh, the sales pitch right there, boom, right in your face, right? Warming people up to the idea. And who is he targeting? He's targeting the young, because the young set the trends. That's who you put the trends, or that's how you set the trends with the youth. Okay? All these old baby boomer niggas in America, there's no fucking need for them no more. There's no need for no nigga born in the 60s, right? That's looking forward to his pension. What's up? Nobody's gonna care about, you're not getting no pension check, man. No retirement. All right? All that's folly. You don't see the economy crashing? You think they're gonna pay back the billions that they own? No. Not when the United States owes $37 trillion, and that's going to go up to $40 trillion in like the next 2 years. Ain't no pitching, okay? Ain't no savings. All right? Ain't no retirement. That's why they keep boosting the age up. Right? Later, required for convenience, required for safety, required for participation. So if you don't have this device, right, this digital ID, the RFID microchip, because that's what it's going to evolve into, you're no longer a convenience, right? They're going to do away with cash. You're not going to be able to pay with cash, right? That's going to be that's going to be archaic. Ain't nobody going to accept it because everybody's moved their banking. Everybody moved their credits to whatever digital landscape that they develop and issue out. Okay? The digital dollar or whatever the fuck. Right? So when you come in with cash, they're gonna look at you crazy like, where's your chip? Now you can't, we don't take that. Go somewhere else that takes it. And eventually time will progress and nobody will take it. It may be at first, while it's being, issued and rolled out, that some places will still take it. But then they're gonna crash the dollar. Nobody's gonna take that. Right? They're only going to take whatever currency is programmed to that RFID chip. And if you don't have it, you're going to be considered an illegal. How do we know if he's an American? He doesn't have a chip. How can you identify yourself? Just like ICE going around right now asking for your papers, they're going to be going around asking for your chip. See, this is all just preparing. This is all preparation. Okay? Eventually, you can technically refuse. But refusal means exclusion, right? You're going to be excluded. You're going to be made to dwell on the outskirts, right? You can't participate in civilized society because you're not civilized. You don't have a chip. No prison, no camps, just no access. And they are going to bring prison and they are going to bring camps. Okay? But the primary weapon that they're going to use is access. You're not going to have access to this society. Right? Financial integration is going to be digital banking system, cashless payments, CBDCs. This enables transaction approval or denial, spending restrictions, automated enforcement. So everything is going to be automated with artificial intelligence. Okay? You're going to have restrictions on the things you can do and the things you can't do. Okay? So all of this is a very calculated, very well thought out plan that he's been working towards this agenda, this end goal for years now. And people have already become addicted to this society, to the fastness and the convenience of it. All right? They're already addicted to the drugs in the food, the drugs in the water, right? The drugs in the drugs. They're addicted. The bread and circuses, all right? The constant amusement, the circus, the clown show. People are already, it's really too late for a lot of people, okay? Because a lot of people are going to get it knowing this is it. They're going to get it knowing, but, what else am I going to do, right? And yeah, I don't want to do it, but I can't live without this. People can't even imagine a world without Esau being the head of it and without America being at the forefront. But both things are going to come to an end. This is Psalm 64 and 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. they can commune of laying snares privily, they say, who shall see them? And that's what I'm saying. They've been laying out these snares for years, man. Okay? Cryptocurrency, what do you think that's about? That's getting you used to the idea of having a digital currency. Okay? That's only real on the screen. And people fell for a hook, line, and sinker, right? Tap payments, right? Going around, you can pay with tap for everything. I use it all the time. Super convenient. You don't even gotta have your wallet no more, right? But it's all to condition you. It's all to prepare you for what's actually coming, for the thing that he actually wants to do to you, which is put a microchip, a RFID tag inside of you. Okay?
Okay, so tell me. We got tea.
They say, who shall see them? And not a lot of people see them, but guess what? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, we see them. Okay? They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Right. They accomplish a diligent search. Okay? He put a lot of money into this. A lot of institutions have been involved in this. A lot of research have been put into this, man. This isn't something he just came up with yesterday. This is something that's been in the works for generations. Okay? It's been at the works for generations, for years. You can go all the way back. Years. Okay? That movie, 1984. That movie came out, I want to say in the 50s or the 60s or something. But it shows you the same thing that we're seeing today. We're seeing these different shows, these different movies that once was sci-fi, science fiction, now they're reality. Because this is what his heart's desire has always been. Okay? It's deep. All right? Because in his mind, he fancies himself to be the Most High. All right? This is This is 2 Thessalonians 2:4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And the scriptures tell you your body is your temple. Keep it holy. Keep it together, right? To take care of yourself, right? Because in you dwelleth the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. If you're so-called Negroes, Latino, or Native American, that is, right? In you dwells the Holy Spirit, right? If you're an Israelite, you are chosen by Yahweh Shema Shai, right? But he wants to take that your holy temple and he wants to defile it. He wants to defile it with what? His seed, with his spirit, which is in the form of that RFID chip. I mean, I'm reading the things that it's going to be able to do. Right? Is this not a man? Are these not God-like abilities? Right? When he implements that brain-computer interface, he's gonna have the ability to read your thoughts. He's going to have the ability to remove your thoughts. He's going to have the ability to increase your thought. He's going to have the ability to make you see things, make you not see things. On a whole nother level, man, like the shit that, man, is really crazy when you think about it, man. But we're really going through this, and he's really about to do it. He's really doing this. Okay, this ain't for play. You know, you got people who will hear this and they'll just, roll their eyes and shit. You ain't gonna be rolling your eyes pretty soon, man. Pretty soon you're gonna be out here looking, searching for the man of Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right. This enables, right, going back to the financial integration, critical point, as said by ChatGPT. This is critical. The financial aspect is critical. Digital ID is designed to integrate seamlessly with digital banking, cashless systems, central bank digital currencies, right? Because then you'll be on a digital, in a digital database, which we all are in. But if you put this device in you, you're going to literally be uploaded to it, right? You're going to be on it live, right? And you won't be able to come off. Hell going on, man. Yeah. So like it, man. I think it's a protest or some shit that they doing or that's going on. But buying and selling becomes permission based, not ownership based. So if you don't have permission from Big Brother, if you don't have permission from the state, you won't be able to buy or sell. And that's if you don't have the chip. Of course you won't be able to at all. But if you do have the chip, you still might not be able. Which shows you how merciless this devil is, man. There's not an upright part of his body. There's nothing in him that's upright at all, right? It says, why this feels biblical. This is where your concern connected to scripture. I didn't even ask you this. Not claiming the digital ID is the mark, but the architecture matches what the Revelation describes. And we're going to get it. I'm going to read it off and then I'm going to get it. Central authority, economic participation tied to compliance, no buying or selling without authorization, system enforced, not brute force, global scope, gradual normalization. He wants to sit in your temple, right? If he implants you, he's gonna literally be sitting in your temple, man. Those frequencies are gonna throw you off it, man. Things that we can't even go into because it's yet to be seen. Nothing like this has ever happened. It's Revelation 13 and 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, said to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live, which is talking about the ancient Roman Empire, which is back today, okay, under the guise of America and NATO, right? Western civilization is what they like to call it, or what they refer to, the West, right? So he's gonna be deceiving people with these different miracles and abilities, being able to communicate with someone in a whole nother place just on FaceTime, right? FaceTime in itself is a miracle, right? It's like, damn, you can FaceTime somebody in another country and be on the phone with them, right? Have a full-blown conversation, all right? But with that RFID chip, especially the brain-computer interface, you're gonna be able to communicate with somebody in a whole nother place with simply your thoughts. So it's gonna be telepathy. People are gonna have telepathic abilities. You don't think people are gonna be enticed by that? Right? You're gonna be able to go to a job interview and you're gonna know exactly what he's gonna ask you because you're gonna have it programmed to your mind. You don't think people will be enticed by that? So they're gonna be deceived through these different abilities that you're gonna be able to have and achieve with this technology. People are gonna be able to control their car with just their thoughts. Unlock their doors in their house with just their thoughts, right? Your whole world, life itself is gonna change just with the introduction of this technology, all right? You're gonna be a cyborg. People are gonna be cyborgs out here, man. And it's gonna put a lot of pressure on those who don't partake to partake. Because if you don't, you're gonna get left behind and you're gonna be excluded, right? And one thing these people don't like is to be excluded. People will sit up here and be wrong just because everybody else is wrong. So when everybody else is doing this, they're gonna do it just so they can fit in, okay? Because these people are sheep, they're zombies, all right? And they're not capable of critical thought. And masculinity is at an all-time low. Testosterone is at an all-time low. So everybody's submissive, okay? You eating soy-based products, GMO everything. So people are fucking docile as hell, right? And submissive. They don't stand for anything. Here it is. You know, it's supposed to be America, right? This great country. 4th of July coming up. Everybody gonna be up in the streets, popping fireworks and doing all this dumbass shit, right? Clowning, fooling. But the American Revolution was started over taxes on tea. A tea tax, and it was only like 3 or 5% of some shit. It wasn't even a lot. A tea tax kicked off the American Revolution. What? The shit that nowadays you're taxed on is endless, man. You're taxed on everything. You taxed in your checks. You taxed when you working. You taxed on food. You taxed on gas. You taxed on clothes. You taxed on everything. You have to pay for everything. You taxed on your housing. You taxed on your cars. So if people still had that revolutionary spirit, which they don't, they would have been revolted. But people have been so complacent and they've been made comfortable, okay? And they've been made feminine. Because a lot of the shit that they pulling now, you couldn't pull 50, 60, 70 years ago because there are still men on the earth. But now men are a very few number, okay? It's just a bunch of males, right? And a bunch of bitches. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So it's going to get to the point to where if you're not on code, if you're not for this next step, then people are going to want to see you dead. All right? I mean, we see how now, you know, how hard people come at, you know, someone else because they have a difference in opinion or they perspective on something is adverse to theirs. So when this technology comes out and You got these miraculous things happening, you know. Yo, uncle, you know, drunk uncle broke his back, can't walk no more. Now he can walk with this interface system, this brain-computer interface. Now he has the ability with a couple of implantations. Now he can do the thing. He can regain the motor skills and functions that he had previously lost. Right? So when you come up against that, which we're doing now actively, people are gonna look at you, hey, so you want my Uncle Carl to fucking be paralyzed? You wanted him to die? This chip saved his life, right? And that in some cases, hey, it may have performed this task, but it's still gonna lead to a thermonuclear missile, right? You still condemned. Your lifespan has just been extended. You've traded your judgment for a worse life, right? And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their... Appreciate it, bro. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Right. So no matter who you are, there will be no exemptions from it, because he's gonna have all areas covered. He's gonna have a sales pitch for every single angle. There isn't anything that he hasn't thought about when it comes to this agenda. The only thing that he did not think about was the prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua coming on this earth and condemning and spoiling his plans and telling him what's gonna happen before it happens, man. We've been telling him what he was gonna do, starting off with the apostles and elders, a great millstone on down, have been telling what he was gonna do for years now, right? And now look where it's at. So that's the only thing this man didn't account for. But you thinking you gonna live off the grid and you gonna escape, he already thought about that. It's called a drone. It's called a robot dog. Okay? Hey, Maduro thought he was safe. He thought he was living fine, living off grid. And then what happened? Right? In less than a minute, this nigga had troops in his face, super soldiers, right? Elite forces. He's gonna come with that same spirit for you. If you plan on, you know, he's gonna come out, he's gonna come like that for us. But the Lord is gonna lift up a standard for us, right? Because we're doing what he told us to do to the best of our ability. Okay? And that no man might buy or sell save he that has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? Which is all just one thing. It's all encompassing. Just like the digital ID. The digital ID is all encompassing. The RFID chip, the mark of the beast, is all encompassing. Yeah, I named 3 things, but I'm go back to ChatGPT. Not claiming digital ID is the mark, but the architecture matches what Revelations describes. So when you niggas sit up here and you say, oh no, that's not right, microchip ain't in the bottom, all this other bullshit you niggas say, even the damn robot, artificial intelligence, AI know, ChatGPT know that this description matches Revelations. So just ponder on that, man. Simple ass niggas, man. Okay? So everything we read in Revelations, central authority, economic participation tied to compliance, no buying or selling without authorization, system enforced, not brute force, global scope, gradual normalization. The only thing he didn't know, or Chat GPT don't know, is that it will be a sense of brute force, right? Because he will make a move on those, on some, right? Some are gonna have to be beheaded, okay? But that's why it says that he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. Right to the very end, right? In Revelations 3, it say the hour in temptation, right? Matter of fact, this is Revelations 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon earth. Okay, this is going to be a global system. This is going to be implemented all around the world, not just here in America. But America will be the center of it, though, right? That's why America is going to get the judgment that it's going to get. It is going to be turned into a lake of fire. All right? This is ChatGPT testing and discernment. We connected this to biblical things you asked about, which I didn't ask. I didn't ask. But whatever, they ChatGPT connected it to biblical themes: God testing his people, discernment versus fear, faithfulness under pressure, choosing obedience to God over system of men. The danger isn't panic. The danger is sleepwalking into dependency. Don't the scriptures say it's high time to awake out of sleep? You people are asleep. Don't even know it. Don't even know that a snare has been laid for you. That you're in the midst of being trapped. And we telling you. But it falls on deaf ears. Because you so fucking zombified. You so damn simple. Head all the way up your ass that you can't fucking see it. But sucks to be you, man. Better you than us. The concern, not hysteria, realism. Once identity, money, movement, access are unified, then resistance doesn't require persecution. It only requires denial of access. That's why people sense this isn't just another ID, it's a structural shift in how power works. He's gonna make that digital all is likened unto an idol. Okay? It's likened unto an idol. And without that instrument, you won't be able to participate. Life for you, as you know it, is gonna be significantly more difficult. And you're gonna be completely independent from the state, right? Which in some people's mind, they can't fathom that. And what Esau is gonna do, he's gonna give you a taste of that before he, or at the same time, right? Simultaneously, he's gonna give you a taste of what it's like to not have him be your sole provider. Which is him he's made himself a god. Don't you see, this is all spiritual, right? Esau's testing you, right? Because he thinks in his mind, the world can't exist without him, right? And the scriptures say, if it weren't for the elect, no flesh should be saved. So, you know, if Yahweh Shah wasn't going to deliver us, this devil might actually achieve this in its entirety, right? But we know that he's not going to, okay? This is Revelations 3 and 11. Behold, I come quickly, hold fast. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. him that overcometh, I will make a temple, I will make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my power, and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, and I will write it upon him my new name. Right, so if you endure this and you refuse the chip, and you put all your faith in Yahweh Shema Shai, you will be greatly rewarded. He's not going to forget us. He's never forgotten us. Okay? But for those of you who are going to sleepwalk into dependency on Esau, you're going to get exactly what you got coming, which is a thermonuclear missile. Okay? A very horrible death. So with that, all praise and glory to Yahweh Shema Shai, Ba'ashem Rukakwadash Wa Abad Babal, and DTA, DTN, double unders to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Shalom.